From Philadelphia, the city that pulsates with the beat and the rhythms of yesterday and today, it's time for the Geator with the heater, the boss with the hot sauce, Jerry Blavat.
60 seconds make 1 minute, 60 minutes make 1 hour, 24 hours make 1 day, and out of that 24 hours, 2.5 hours are dedicated by the young teenager to the hippest show on the radio. So without further ado, let's carry on through now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off!
Young teenager, gather round. Hark to the sound I'm a putting down.
Come on, baby, let the good times roll. Ladies and gentlemen, let the good times roll. Well, it's your old friend, the Old Ranger. Now, you know, not the Lone Ranger, but the Old Ranger, because the Lone Ranger had a wonderful sidekick. His name was Tonto. This guy travels all over the world, but he is not Tonto. It is my pleasure, as you chat with me, to chat with one of the greats in show business, Mr. Bobby Rydell. Bobby! I need to hear him.
Yes, Did you hear me, Geator?
I got you. Listen, it's so great. You look wonderful.
Yeah, same here, my man. You look
Thank
great.
you. Well, you know, this is your home. And, you know, for you people out there, before we set up the interview, I said to Bobby, I feel like Edward R. Murrow. And he said to me,
Yeah, because I'm smoking my cigarette. Good evening and welcome to the home of Mr. Jerry Blavat.
Listen, you know, there are so many people out there that are watching this chat with you and I. And last week, it was Gary U.S. Bonds, and Gary was drinking wine. Now, I know that you're not allowed to drink wine. You can drink maybe a little bit.
All I have is maybe a cocktail with my wife and myself when we go out for dinner, and that's about it, Jerry. Yeah.
But there was a time when you and I used to drink an awful lot.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. We're going to talk about those days. But I want to tell the audience out there that many people do not realize what this man has done in show business. And, Bobby, I got to tell you a great story, and I think I shared it with you before. Frankie Day.
Frankie Day, my first manager.
He used to be with Billy Duke, if you remember.
And Billy Duke and the Dukes.
Right. And he was
Summers Point, New Jersey, at a club called Bay Shores.
And another place called Aljo's.
Yeah, they worked Aljo's as well. All of those groups back then worked all of those clubs, you know. But that's where I first met Frankie Day, when he was with Billy Duke and the Dukes. He was playing bass.
Right. I'll tell you a great story. I had just gotten off the road with Danny and the Juniors. You know, they had the song At the Hop. And I bumped into Frankie Day, and he said to me, I want you to hear a tape that I have. I heard the tape.
Oh, God.
It was your demo tape.
Don't tell me what this song was. Was it Fatty Fatty Boombalatti?
It was Fatty Fatty Boombalatti.
Oh, my God. What a terrible record.
Well.
Oh, Geator, you remember that?
Listen, not only do I remember that, but I took it to a guy called Bernie Binnick.
Oh, sure, Bernie, remember him well.
Swan Records.
Yeah, sure.
His partner was Tony Mammarella.
You know who Tony Mammarella was?
His dad was a doctor.
Absolutely, he was our family doctor, Dr. Mammarella. And Tony Mammarella was the producer of American Bandstand, Dick Clark.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, wow.
But listen, you and I are going to have fun memories for the audience out there.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure we will.
Let me tell you what happened. Bernie Binnick wanted to sign you.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Swan Records, but Fatty Fatty Boombalatti.
Go ahead.
At that time, Swan, Cameo Parkway all shared offices on Locust Street at Broad and Locust.
1405 Locust Street.
Absolutely. What happened is when Bernie Lowe heard that demo, He said, "Forget it. Are you crazy? You're going to sign this kid?"
He was right. But and you know where that first record was released on? Do you remember, Jerry, what the label was?
No. Which one?
It was called Vico.
Vico?
Veko. It's blue and white label. Bobby Rydell, Fatty Fatty Boom Baladi. What a terrible record. Oh my God.
But wait, now we're going to go from Fatty Boom. We're going to go from Fatty Boom Badaddy Batty Boom Babaddy to Bernie Lowe, who says to Bernie Bennett, "This kid will never make it," and
Of
he
course
winds
not.
up signing you. Bernie Lowe signed you to Cameo.
Yes, he did. Right. Now, I'll tell you a story, Jerry, that probably a lot of people don't know. When I was 10 years old, I was on a show called the Paul Whiteman TV Teen Club. Okay, emanated out of WFIL ABC Studios, 46 and Market
Right.
Street. Okay,
Right.
and guess who was the piano player for Paul Whiteman?
Bernie Lowe.
Bernie Lowe.
Bernie
Now,
Lowenthal.
okay, yeah, no, Bernie Rittarelli. Anyway, who would have known when I was 10 years old that Bernie Lowe would be my boss at 17 years old, signing with Cameo Records? At that time, it was just Cameo. Later on, it became, of course, Cameo Parkway.
You were 19, I believe, right? 59.
59, I had
Yeah.
my first hit record. I was born in 1942.
Right.
So you do the math. I was 17, right?
You're 78 now.
Was that? Huh?
You're 78.
I'm 78 now.
Right. Right. But so,
My math is terrible. I'll tell you.
you know,
My first hit record was the summer of 1949.
right.
1959.
59.
I was, I was born in 1942. So
But-
you're right. I was 19. Yes.
Yes. But this is what amazes me. We're talking about his career with records. This kid did every major TV show, and you don't know this, but he also, beside Bye Bye Birdie, was in a couple of other movies. They may not have been big movies.
No,
but
they weren't.
Tell me about
No.
the lady from Peking.
Oh, the lady from Peking. Oh, God. Carl Betts, Nancy Kwan, and Sid Melton.
Yes.
If you remember Sid Melton,
Oh.
he was Daddy Thomas's manager, when Make Room for Daddy. And we filmed the movie in Australia.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the movie never did anything, Jerry. Matter of fact, you can find it against Monday Night Football. That's when you can find that lady from Peking.
But wait, how did you do an animated movie with Arnold Stang?
How about that? How about the Arnold Stang? He played a myopic dinosaur.
Right.
And it was a cartoon version called Marco Polo Jr. Returns to Xanadu.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what, it was really good. I mean, Jerry, there was some music in that show that was unbelievable. I remember going into the studio, and one of the producers said to me, "Bobby, you have to be at the studio at 9 o'clock in the morning at A&R." In New York. I said, "I can't sing at 9 o'clock in the morning." I walked in, Jerry, there were 100-piece orchestra.
Wow.
Bucky Pizzarelli was playing guitar. Okay, God rest his soul. I said, "I'm ready to sing, man."
Yeah.
When I saw this orchestra, and I don't know if anybody can ever find it, go on YouTube or whatever, and you find Bob Rydell, Marco Polo Jr. Returns to Xanadu. There are some tremendous
I heard it.
pieces
It's
of
great
music on
music.
there.
But then another
Oh my
picture.
God, yeah.
Another picture.
What?
The Draw.
What?
The Draw. A movie called The Draw.
No,
D-R-A-W.
no, wait a minute. No, you're talking about with Vic Morrow.
Yes,
That was called The Duel.
The Duel.
The Duel. It
Yeah,
was Vic Morrow, myself, and a German tank.
right. Now, Vic Morrow was in Rebel
Vic
Without a
Morrow.
Cause, if you remember, with
Oh,
James Darren. Wow.
oh, how about his first movie,
Which one?
Blackboard Jungle? Vic
Exactly.
Morrow.
Exactly. Right. The bad
Blackboard
boy.
Jungle, Glenn Ford.
Yep.
And the opening song was one,
Shake.
2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, right? 5,
5,
6,
6,
Bill
7 o'clock,
Haley and the
8 o'clock. Right.
Comets.
That
Yeah,
a
Bill
lot of
Haley and the Comets.
people didn't realize. For the people looking at there, Bobby, when Rock Around the Clock came out the first time, it did not make it. It had to come
No,
out a
that's right.
second time with the movie. With the movie, it became a gigantic movement because of the
Absolutely
movie.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct,
Yeah.
Geator. You got it, my man.
Now, Bye Bye Birdie,
Yes,
1963.
correct.
You play Hugo.
Hugo Peabody.
Do you know in the original Broadway play, he never spoke?
That's right. I went to see the Broadway show, and Hugo Peabody had no lines, uh, no dancing, no nothing. And I said, wow. I said, um, I think this is really the part for me. Yada, yada, yada. Make a long story short, I go out to California and I speed test with my dear friend, Ann Margaret. And we did like a couple of things, read some lines from the script. And, she sang one boy, one. I sang one girl, it's that true girl, yada, yada, yada. George Sidney says, okay, we'll be in touch. Frankie Day says, 2 weeks after I get back from California to Philadelphia, he said, you landed the part of Hugo Peabody. I went, oh, that sounds
Another
good
song.
because he never,
I'm not
he
talking.
never did any, he never did anything in the Broadway show. To make a long story short, Geeter, Mr. Sidney absolutely saw some kind of magic between Ann Margaret and myself. And every day that I would go to the studio, that being Columbia Motion Pictures, my script got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger with dialogue, with dancing, with singing, so on and so forth. And I'll tell you what, I'm not a motion picture star, but if I was involved with one motion picture, Bye Bye Birdie
Yeah.
is totally a classic, and I'm so proud to have had the opportunity to work with not only my dear friend Ann Margaret, but Dick Van Dyke, Janet Leigh, Paul Lynde, Maureen
Right.
Stapleton. What a cast! My God, yeah.
But also your career has always been, and you guys and gals didn't know this, but the comedian Robert De Niro, you played yourself in that movie. The
What do you
comedian
mean?
in the movie The Comedian with
Oh
De
yeah,
Niro.
yeah. I played myself. We were supposed to be at a autograph session in, let's say, somewhere in Florida, and I had just a little part, and I worked with, and he was Jerry. He was so nice, man. De Niro. He was so nice. Took pictures with me, my wife, this, that, the other thing. But I think as far as the clip is concerned, where we're at this autograph section, I think if you see me for a non-news second, I'm like, and I'm off. It's gone.
You know,
But I had the opportunity to meet De Niro.
you're recording. You're 17 years of age. You're recording. 63. You do the movies. But I know you as a tremendous drummer, and I know we
Thank
talked
you.
about some of your favorite drummers, and we talked about Gene Krupa, and we talked about Buddy
Correct.
Rich, right? And we
Correct.
talked about a local kid in Philly called Bobby
Who?
Gregg.
Bobby Gregg. Oh, yeah. The first time I saw Bobby Gregg, he was working with Frankie Avalon at a place called, I think it was called Moore's Inlet
Yes.
in New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah.
And Bobby Gregg, well, he kind of loved Louis Bellson because Bobby Gregg played with double bass drums, and he was good-looking guy and a real fine player. Real fine player,
Yeah.
Bobby Gray.
Do you know
But, you know, yeah,
he
go ahead.
he was the drummer for Steve Gibson and the Red Caps.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
and then he
Oh,
wound up doing
wow.
and then he wound up doing all the session work, as you know, for Cameo Parkway with you guys. You know that
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Wildwood Days. When I came,
Wildwood Days.
yeah,
So, whoa, 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 whoa.
that's like a signature song for you for the East Coast. But many people did not realize that that was the B side of the Bristol Stomp in
For the
1963.
Dovells.
Right, the
For the
Dovells.
Dovells. Yeah, they had the B side was Wildwood Days. Bertie Lowe, my boss, the president of Cameo, which later became, of course, Cameo Parkway, he said, you know, Bobby Rydell, you know, has a lot of roots in Wildwood. You know, my grandmother had a
Yeah.
house, 232 East Montgomery Avenue. I've been going down there since I was an infant. Yada, yada, yada. Make a long story short, we get this guy by the name of Stephen Garrick, a great arranger from New York City. So all of a sudden, they put me into the studio to record Wildwood Days. And Stephen Garrett, you know, blow, pa pa da pa da pa da, spring will soon be gone. That became a hit record
Yeah.
for
And
me.
that's
And of course, I mean, if you go down to Wildwood, New Jersey, they play it
it's
every
the
15
national
minutes.
anthem.
Yeah, oh,
National
yeah,
anthem.
yeah, it's a national anthem. But my God, every 15 minutes you say, all right, it's enough already. Shut it off.
You know, we're talking about Burn Your Lawn, we're talking about Cowman, and for the people out there, this was even before Motown. Cameo Parkway was the dance label with Bobby Rydell, with Dee Dee Sharp, with the Dobells, with Chubby Checker, way before Motown because of Dick Clark, who had a lot of influence at
True,
that time with Cameo
true.
Parkway.
Yes, he
Now,
did.
we go with Bobby Darin, who
Yes,
was a rock and roller, makes
right,
an album called That's All, Mac the
yes,
Knife. The
right,
record company did not want to release it because they said, Bobby, you're a rock and roller.
correct,
Your audience is not going to accept this.
right.
History, Copacabana, nightclubs, boom. You go from rock and roll into Volare, which now is a pop song, which is changing the career of you almost like Mac the Knife did for Bobby. And because of that, you were the youngest performer to get booked into the Copa.
I was 19 years old, Jerry. And if you remember the songs that I recorded, I was coming off a song called Swingin' School.
Yeah, rock and
And
roll.
yeah, you know, chicks, ow, kicks, ow, cats, ow, yeah, 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 yeah. Anyway, we had recorded in New York at RCA recording studios, and we never, it was an album that we never released.
We didn't lose
So
it.
Bernie went back, these songs that we recorded. One was Volare, one was Sway, and one was Old Black Magic.
Right.
And they all became hits for me.
Well, you see, you did what Darren did against the grain of rock and roll. So you're in the Copacabana, but also Bobby Rydell has had a tremendous career on television. You've seen him work. We've been together at the Malt Shop Memories, by the way, and they love you at the Malt Shop Memories. I mean, you know, you,
Oh, you
me,
know what, Jared? That's one of the best cruises that there ever is. You know, it really. I can't wait to get back on the cruise, and I'm sure you can't wait to get
well,
back
you know,
either,
we
my
were we
friend.
were scheduled to go out, all of us, with Gladys Knight, and as you know, this pandemic just
Yeah,
put a kibosh to everything. But we're going to sail
correct.
again. We're going to
Right.
sail again, because this audience that we have has no place to go, and that's why the Malt Shop Memories cruise
Right.
is so important because they not only see you perform, you're drinking wine with them, you're signing autographs with them, we're doing a tasting thing, we're doing a question and answer things, and how about Stewie Stone?
No, that's right. Oh God bless Stewie Stone. I love him so much. I've worked with them. We go back. I don't know how. I've been in this business 60 years now, Jerry, going on to 61. I've worked with Stewie my entire life. He is such a sweetheart and a funny, funny man, and I love him. I absolutely love him.
You know he's watching us right now. So Stewie, I love
Hey,
you.
Stewie! Hey!
Oh, you just talk about comedians. Marty Storm. Marty
Oh,
Storm
Morty Storm!
with
Oh,
Sinatra.
please give me a break. Would Sinatra loved a guy by the name of Morty Storm. Not a very good looking man, but Sinatra loved him. And Morty Storm talked like this. You think I'm too handsome for my health? You think I'd look good with a chick lick? And Sinatra loved him. And I'm sure you remember a dear friend of ours, Louis
Jilly
D.
Rizzo.
He owned the separate he owned the separate tables in New York City,
Louis.
and Sinatra would be Louis D.
Yeah.
And Sinatra would come in, and Morty Storm, Sinatra would say, put him on an orange crate with a flashlight, and and Morty Storm would do like 40, 45 minutes. And Louis D would come over and say, Frank, get him off. The cash register ain't ringing.
I'll tell
He
you a
was
great.
something.
I'll
Oh,
tell you a
Morty
story about
Storm.
that. Marty Storm. Frank's birthday, December the 12th. Sammy Davis's birthday, December the 8th. So when Sammy, Liza, and Frank appeared at the Golden Nugget for the 75th birthday, they had Morty Storm come out of a birthday cake.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh, no, you're kidding.
and they hit him with
I didn't know
pies.
that. Oh, my God. Oh,
Great comedians, man. And Stewie Stone, if you're looking and listening, we love you because you represent show business, man. Show business. A whole different world. Tell me about Milton Berle when you did the Milton Berle show.
there's not that much that I have to tell you about Mr. Burrell. I auditioned, who was oh God, the director. It'll come to me. My name is Jose Jimenez. Bill,
I know.
remember he was Bill Dana.
Bill Dana.
Bill Dana. My name, Jose Jimenez, right? He was the director of the show. And I auditioned, and they said, oh, okay, well, we love you. And Mr. Burrell loved me. And he was a great songwriter, Jerry. And he wrote a tune called You Gotta Enjoy Joy. And that was the theme song of the Milton Berle show. And I recorded it on Capitol with full piece orchestra, 4 trumpets, 4 trombones, 5 saxophones, piano, bass, drums, a rhythm guitar. Who was playing drums on the day but Louis Belson?
Oof.
And me being
Married
the
to Pearl
drummer,
Bailey.
married to Pearl Bailey, absolutely right. And it wasn't a hit record for me, but it was the type of tune that was in a Bobby Darin type of mode.
Right.
Pop, pop, blow, great arrangement, and it, for anybody who would like to hear Bobby Rydell singing other than Pilates, Sway, Old Black Magic, Forget Him, Wild One, Swinging School.
That was the
yada,
turning
yada,
point
yada.
for all of the nightclubs. You and I,
I'm sorry?
when that was the turning point, all of the classic material for you to go into the nightclubs in that area. You recorded,
like you said earlier, when I recorded Volati, Sway, Old Black Magic, it kind of turned my career around saying, well, he's not really just a rock and roll singer, but he can sing songs like Sway, Volati, Old Black Magic,
Tony
so on and
Hatch.
so forth.
Tony
Tony
Hatch.
Hatch, yeah.
Great writer, great producer, great things for Petula Clark. If you remember, she was on the Malt Shop Memories cruise with us.
Absolutely. That was, I don't know, 4 years ago, Jack?
I think maybe about 6
what-
years ago.
Was it 6?
You realize how
Wow.
many? You realize that we have done together 11 cruises.
Oh, well, we started off
Yeah.
on what was the line?
It wasn't.
Carousel.
Right.
No,
It wasn't Holland American, I don't think, at that time. The
no, and
Amsterdam, not the Amsterdam.
we only did 4 days,
Yep. Yep.
and it was you, me, Frankie Avalon, and a couple of other people, and the cruise was only 4 days, and then all of a sudden,
Boom.
it became malt shop memories. With what's the line? I'm sorry.
Holland American.
Holland America, which is a great
Holland American.
line, great line, great cruise. And we've been doing that now for what? Eight
We've been doing it
years?
for over 10 years. This will be 11
Okay.
years. Last year was the 10th year anniversary of the cruises back then. So,
Yeah, oh, that's right. That's right. I was on that cruise.
right, we were together.
I was on the 10th anniversary cruise. Yeah, for sure.
I was amazed when I found out that Tony Hatch wrote, because Tony Hatch was from England with Petula Clark. I mean, you've had
Correct.
some wonderful producers other than Cameo Parkway and wonderful
Correct.
material, like A World
Yeah.
Without Love, Lennon, John Lennon. Now,
Right.
you might remember we were on the cruise with Peter Gordon,
Oh, how great was that, Jerry?
right?
How? Oh, no, not Peter and Gordon. Not Peter Gordon.
It,
Oh,
it was Peter. It was the other side of
yeah,
Gordon.
yeah.
It wasn't Peter Wolf.
No. Oh, was that a great moment?
Yeah, yeah. But
Was that a great moment?
you recorded it before him, though. You
I
recorded.
recorded World Without Love. It was supposedly coming out right after Forget Him.
Asher.
Peter Asher.
That's it.
What a wonderful individual.
Yeah.
Man. What a wonderful guy. So anyway, yada yada yada. I recorded it. Peter and Gordon recorded it. They had the bigger hit. I kind of like charted
Right.
with it. But when we did the cruise with Peter Asher, and I'm on stage and I'm doing my stuff, and you come out and you say, excuse me, Bobby, we have a special guest wants to come out and see you, yada yada yada. And so here comes
Peter Asher.
and we do World Without Love together. And I said to Peter, because we had set this up, we tried to make it something that was a surprise for
Right,
the audience.
right.
And I said to Peter, I said, okay, Peter, I said, what key do you do World Without Love in? He said, A flat. I said, A flat. That's like 2 tones above what the heck my scale is. I only can go to F, And so anyway, we did it, and the audience loved
Went
it.
crazy. He
You know,
played the
we're doing-
guitar.
He played the guitar, and I said to Peter, I said, do you mind if I do the lyrics with an English accent?
Yeah.
And he said, no, Bobby. So, I got, please lock me away and don't allow to die. And the audience loved it. It was such a tremendous moment on that ship.
Talking about the audience, Bobby, David, the audience out there that are watching us, can they ask some questions that I can ask Bobby? Do you have anything coming
Sure.
up? See, Bob, you and I don't know how this stuff works. All I know is we're having fun, but there is an audience out there that I'm sure would like to participate in asking Bobby questions about his career. But
That'd be wonderful.
we're just a couple of guys, just a couple of
Hey,
punks
we're
from
just
South
hanging
Florida.
around.
We're
You know what I'm
just
talking
reminiscing
about?
about our lives.
Hey.
So, Red Skelton,
That's
loved
Skelton. Floo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Clemke Diddlehopper.
you were the cousin, but you became the cousin,
I
right?
played his cousin Zeke, the
That's-
Diddlehopper, on one of his shows. Yeah.
You gave me a clip when you were on the show with him and you were in jail together. You were in jail together.
I played Billy the Kid, and Red was, I think he played what was his character? Oh gee, I don't remember.
He may have been the sheriff. He was with you.
Well, it was one of the characters that Red did. Oh God, Red Eye something, whatever. You know what, Jerry? Working him with him was one of the finest moments of my career because I always adored Red Skelton, and I did 12 shows with him, and I always called him Mr. Skelton, and he said, and I'll call you Mr. Rydell. He said, let's stop this. I'm Red, you're Bobby, but it was so hard to call him Red.
Do you know, I worked with him when he did the Thrill Show. You remember he did the Thrill Show years ago with Paul Diortono. All right.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
worked with
wow.
him. And
Paul Diortono.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And I wrote a book. By the way, you wrote a book. For you people out there, tell me about the book. Your book.
Well,
How they can get your book.
The book is called Bobby Rydell, Teenage Idol on the Rocks: A Tale of Second Chances. It's a wonderful book. It's been out 2, 3, going on to 4 years now, and we're doing very very well with the book. And it's a book that I got together with, I'm sure you know, Alan Slutsky, who did a documentary on standing in the shadows of Motown,
Yep.
with the Funk Brothers. And Al and I got together for, I would say 2 years, and I poured my heart out to him, Jack. And I said, if I'm going to do this in autobiography, I'm honest, true, very sincere, let the people know, what my whole life, my career was about.
How can they get? How
And
can they get the book? How can they get the book? Do
you
they
can
order
go
it?
on you can go on BobbyRydell.com, merchandise, and I guess it's still on Amazon as well. But I'm very proud of it, Jared. As your book as well. I mean, you got a great book out there as well.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud. Yeah, go ahead.
But talking about books, let me for our technical guy here. How do they get one of the books? The audience that are out there, we know if they want to get Bobby's book or my book, what do they do?
So your book I can put on the screen.
They put it on a screen. I guess how they do all
Yeah, well,
that.
there's your book.
Yeah.
There's your book.
Yeah, or your book. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll figure out how we're going to get on screen where they can order your book. All right.
Well,
And
I just told you, all they have to do, Jared, is go to BobbyRydell.com,
Okay.
which is, my website, and you can go to merchandise.
Right.
And if you want to order the book, you can order it right off of BobbyRydell.com. And for those of you who have never ordered the book and want to know a little about me, or a heck of a lot about me, as far as my career is concerned, go to BobbyRydell.com, order the book, you'll love it. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful read. Yeah.
Do you think, looking back, because we all have had our ups and downs, and in the book you talk about the drinking problem that you had and the
I
health
did.
problem that you had.
Yes.
You have beat, I used to call you the Bionic Man. Avalon would call you the Bionic Man because you've
Correct.
had
Yeah.
more surgery than
Oh,
Frankenstein.
please. I don't even want to talk about it, Jerry. 2010, I had a liver kidney transplant. 2012 was a liver kidney. 2013, I had a double bypass.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody calls me, oh, you're the mind. So even Fabian, for crying out loud, Fabian says, well, we work a job. He says, Bobby Rydell has an ambulance waiting for him outside the show.
He
When
stole
we're
the
done.
he stole
And
the
it's a
line from Stewie
convertible.
Stone.
It's a convertible ambulance.
But as you look back at your life,
I'll tell you what, I love those guys. We were born and raised. Fabian lived only half a block away from me. I was 2400 South 11th Street. Fabian was 2500 South 11th Street. And Avalon was on 9th Street, 2 blocks away from Fabian and me. Can you believe that?
and I was playing half-ball at 17th and Mifflin.
Oh, 17th and Mifflin, we played half ball right on 11th and Moymency.
Yeah.
And you had to watch out for the cars that came across. But the great thing about half ball, you never had to run.
Oh no, you were
hit a
there.
ball across the street was a single. You hit a ball across the street was a single. First window was a double. Third window was a triple.
Home run was over.
Home run. And you never had to run. You hit it with a broomstick.
But
How good was Handball, man?
let me
And
say,
Buck.
now, can I see? I'm just looking at Bobby, right?
Yeah.
Uh, does
I'm
the
looking at
audience
you.
see
You're
us or
looking at
just?
me.
No, they see you, they see Bobby, they see it split.
Brain dev and all this stuff. But the reason
I
I
think they
wondered,
see the both
because
of us.
yeah, is there a way we can figure that the audience can participate with this?
I mean, I can read you the comments.
Okay, he's going to read some comments. You can hear it. Go ahead.
Okay, so what was it? I saw somebody was asking how many times he played the steel pier.
How many times did you play
Time-
Steel Pier?
I
102 times?
well the first the first time I worked Steel Pier, I guess was 1959. I was 17, and God rest his soul, Mr. Hammond, the old
George
man,
Hammond.
George Hammond, George Hammond Sr. He would love when it rained because he did a minimum of 4 shows a
5
day.
shows.
But no, well, 4 or 5, whatever. But when it rained, you did 9, 10 shows. You know, because 15 minutes on again, 15 minutes on again. You know, oh, I worked Steel Pier, I would say the majority of my life. You know, really, I worked there a lot.
Bobby, mentors, the people that you looked up to in show business that you said, Frankie Valli tells the story that his mom took him to see Sinatra at the
Uh-huh.
Capitol. And he
Right.
said, from that moment on, I wanted to be a singer. I mean, there's something, it's
Uh,
like with me as a disc jockey. I
yeah.
listened to the black guys, Jocko,
Okay.
Georgie Woods.
Oh
These
my
were the
God.
guys that gave me the thing.
Right, right,
Because you were a kid. You were playing drums. You know,
right.
where did this soul and this wonderful talent come from looking at somebody else?
I think this all stems back to my dad, because the only reason I'm in the business today, Jerry, is because of my dad. If I had any talent within me whatsoever, my dad was the first one to see it. When I was 5 years old, my dad loved big bands, and he took me to a place called the Earl Theater, Philadelphia, to see a matinee performance with the Benny Goodman Orchestra. Now, I didn't know Benny Goodman. I was 5 years old, but my dad wanted to introduce me to that type of music, big mad music. And there was one guy with a Benny Goodman band who was playing drums. And I said to my father, I don't know who that guy is, Daddy, but I want to be him. That guy was Gene Krupa. And I was 5 years old and I started playing drums ever since I saw Krupa. But to answer your story or your question, when I was 10 years old, I always listened to Sinatra. When I was 10 years old, I listened to Sinatra. I loved jazz and I loved big band music. I never really listened to what we call rock and roll, you know, because I was always interested in the American songbook and the great tunes from the 30s and the
Rodgers
40s.
and Hart, Cole Porter,
Rogers and
Jerome Kern.
Hammers, whoever, whatever. And that's the music that I love to sing. Okay, when I do my show, of course I do all of my hits, but I like to throw in some other stuff. If I throw in a little bit of Sinatra, and a gentleman that I absolutely adore and I love him so much is Steve Lawrence. I think Steve Lawrence is one of the finest
Yeah.
singers I've ever heard in my entire life.
How's he doing, by the way? I spoke to Sid Mark.
Hopefully he's doing good.
Yeah.
And you probably know a gentleman in Vegas. His name is Dennis Bono,
Yeah,
who's a
sure.
very, really, really fine singer. And I've known Dennis for a lot of years. And him and Steve Lawrence are buddies. They live right next door to one another. And, Steve has had a little bit of
Yeah.
problems. He's had some Alzheimer's and dementia. But we wish him all our love because really, as I said earlier, Jerry,
You know,
he's one of the
yeah,
finest singers, other than the old man, other
yeah.
than Blue
Well,
Eyes. There
he
was
could have been a
nobody better than Steve. Yeah, go ahead.
he could have been a rock and roll star because he had
Well, you
pretty
know what?
he had a couple of songs which were hits with back then on ABC.
Absolutely. You know, one of the great records that I loved that Steve did, and matter of fact, I have it on one of my albums. I like Bobby
Pretty Little Blue
Rydell.
Eyes.
No. Bobby Rydell records all of the hits of
Uh
1963.
huh.
The song is "Go Away, Little
Yeah.
Girl, Go Away, Little Girl.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be alone with you." Steve Lawrence. Love
Carole
it.
King, Jerry Goffin,
Ah,
great writers.
there you go.
Yeah.
Carol King and Jerry Blavat. There you go.
I gotta tell you, Bob, I am going to do a show next week at a writer. His name is Jerry Fuller. Jerry Fuller wrote "Young Girl, Get Out of My Life,"
Oh my God.
"Traveling
Okay.
Man" for Ricky Nelson, "Why Am I Losing
Great
Sleep
tune.
Over
I'm a
You,"
traveling man, but a running
produced
man.
God Didn't Make Little Green Apples, one of the unsung writers of our industry, and produced Johnny Mathis and produced Mac Davis, who just passed away.
Passed away.
You
God
know,
rest his soul.
and you
Yeah.
know, there were so many people in our
And you know who
business.
else passed away?
No,
Helen Reddy. Big old Mac Davis,
yeah,
Helen Reddy, and there was one other one. I can't remember. Mac Davis, Helen Reddy, who I've known her since my first appearance in Australia. She was originally from
well,
Melbourne,
Frankie Day
Australia.
became her manager, correct?
Frankie, my
Your
first
manager became
manager.
her
Yes.
manager. Yeah,
How do you remember that, Jerry?
it's
How do you
it's
remember that? That's right. My manager, Frankie Day, became Helen Reddy's first manager. Yeah.
as we look
Yeah.
back at your career. Is there anything you figured you did TV, you did comedy, you did movie, you're still doing everything you want to do? Is there anything that you didn't do that you would like to do?
There was one thing that happened quite a few years ago. When I did Bye Bye Birdie, our choreographer was a lady by the name of Anna White. She was absolutely a marvelous choreographer. There was a show in New York City called They're Playing Our Song, and it was God, the comedian Robert Klein and Lucy Arnaz. Robert Klein was leaving the show, and Anna White said to Neil Simon, the only guy that can take his place is Bobby Rydell. Yada, yada, yada. I go, I see the show, and I fall asleep because all I saw Robert Klein do was, they're playing our song, they're playing our song, and when they're playing our song, everybody's got to shh, shh, this is it. Yeah. I said, that's it? I said, nah. I said, I'm not ready for this. Anyway, I turned it down. If I would have taken it, Jerry, who knows? Neil
You would have been
Simon
a
would have
Broadway
said,
star. You could
no,
listen.
no, forget Broadway. I couldn't do Broadway. Broadway is too tough, man. I don't know how these people can do Broadway. I did summer stock. I did West Side Story. I
Eh,
played the part of Rick. I couldn't have Broadway 6 days a week, two shows. No way in the world. Anyway, what I'm saying is that
that's what you're
if I would have taken the show,
right.
taken Robert Klein's part, maybe Neil Simon would have said, yeah, you know what? I think this kid's good, and
Let's develop a project.
maybe I would have been in a movie that Neil
Barefoot in
Simon
the
produced,
Park.
whatever, The Odd Couple, I don't know.
Hold on for a second, Bob. How much time do we have?
We have just over 15 minutes.
Okay. Now, the audience, you have a couple of more questions that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. A couple of more questions, Bob.
So Ronnie
Sure.
wants to know any plans to get together with the Golden Boys at the Nugget in 2021.
Okay. One of the people looking. Any plans to get
Right.
back with the Golden Boys, with Frankie
Oh,
and Fabian?
absolutely. Hopefully, Jerry, when all of this stuff is
Yeah.
behind us, with the COVID, yada, 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 we're supposed to be in Florida in West Palm Beach in March,
Yeah.
and we have a day in West Palm, and then we go to a place called Oka, or whatever it is. We work West Palm on the second and then the fourth, but all depends, of
Yeah.
course, how
Yeah.
this stuff is
Let
gonna,
me also answer
whatever
this
happens.
person. Yeah. When
Super.
something is as successful in show business as what Bobby does with Frankie and with Fabian, it will go on as long as the audience comes to see them. I mean, it's
Well,
like when
Jerry, you're right. When we first started the show, it was 1985. When Dick Fox, who was my manager at the time, put the three of us together. Hey, let's put three Italian guys from South Philadelphia together. And we all agreed. And I mean, our first tour was back in 1985, and it was so successful. I mean, we sold out everywhere. And I turned to Frankie, and Frank and I go back. I was 10 years old. Frank was 12 at the time.
right.
And I called him Cheech, respect the Italian. I said, yo, Cheech, I said, this is wonderful. But how long is this going to last? A year, 2 years, tops, it's over. That was 1985. We're going on to 2021. The show is better today than it
Yeah.
was back in 1985.
You know why?
And when we do the show, Jerry, we sell out.
You have fun. See,
We do.
See,
We do. Yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
secret.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? One of Frankie's greatest lines. He says, "Hey, look at the three of us, all born and raised in South Philadelphia. We used to hang on the street corner together, and now we're hanging out on stage together." What a great line! What a great line! And that it is, and that's what it is. I mean, hanging out on stage, we're having fun, and the audience loves it.
You know, for this young man that just asked that question, it's also what the Malt Shop Memories cruises are about.
I
Those cruises
love the
can
malt
go
shop.
on and on and on. And you know, Bob, young people, when they see guys like you or a little guy like me on stage with the energies, they love it. Young
You
people,
have more. You know what? I can't believe you, Geator.
why?
I really can't. I mean, when we do the malt shop memories, not only are you introducing acts, you're doing the cue things and the cooking shows, but you're also downstairs in a boiler room with everybody. I can't. But your energy is just unbelievable
What?
for
Look,
a guy who's
80 years
95.
old.
God bless you. I love you, man. I
Listen,
mean, you are something.
you know, but our world of show business, and you people out there don't understand that, and I say it all the time. As much as you people are, oh, we're locked in, we feel it more because we don't have the opportunity to entertain you. So we entertain each other. How many? It's like Groundhog Day. Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my! Really, every day is Groundhog Day. It really is.
But
You know what, and I'm sure you're the same way. I can't wait to get back on stage. Because I want to see my fans. I want to get into that spotlight. I want to hit the boards. I want to start singing. I want to, I want to get back.
Bob, I open up memories during the summertime. Nobody was allowed in. I'm up on stage playing my music on Facebook, Mixcloud.
And nobody's in the club.
Nobody's in, but they were listening up and down the coast. And I open up now Saturdays until the weather will change because people can come in and dance. People have to get together. That's what show business.
Are they allowed in memories now?
Yeah, but they got to wear their mask. I go to the gym. They got to wear a mask. So when they dance, they got to wear a mask.
Yeah, that has to be. But at least people can come in and have some kind of fun. My God.
Let's talk about your beautiful wife, Linda.
My wife Linda is right behind me.
Hey, Linda, you want to say hello, Linda? Come on.
Hey, Linda, you want to say
Keely
hello?
Keely wants to see you, Linda.
Go back outside.
No, she don't want to come out.
Well-
Well, I don't know. I think we're having a problem with our cat and our dog because I got a cat named. Oh, listen to this.
But,
You know, we had a dog,
right.
and our first cat we had to put down. His name his name was Tom. So Linda said, "Why don't we get a couple of more cats?" Now we have a dog, Bella, who I adore. She's been with us forever, and God bless her, man. She's a great dog. So now we got two cats. The one cat's name is Mandy, and the other cat is Diana. I said to my wife, couldn't you pick somebody who sang a song like Wild One or Volati?
Forget,
You got Mandy by Barry
and
Manilow.
you
You
got
got
Paul
Diana
Anka,
by
Diane.
Paul
Forget
Anka.
it.
I said, what, why don't you pick a cat who sung, you know, her name is Volati?
Any more big
Oh,
questions?
God.
What do you got there?
So, does Bobby know his teen idol?
Does Bobby know his teen idol?
Yeah.
You mean the first girl that he ever went out with? Is that what you're talking about?
No, like as far as like celebrity singer idol.
Oh, well, I think I heard the question, Jared. When I was 10 years old, I was listening to the old man. I was listening to Sinatra.
Right.
And later on in years, you know, when we
Joni
were both,
James. Remember Joni James?
her nibs, Miss Georgia Gibbs,
Oh, and how about the singing rage, Miss Patty
Patty
Page?
Page.
But you know who was underrated and is still a great talent? Connie Francis.
I love Connie.
Connie Francis knocked me out, and she's
You
probably
know,
she's in Florida. She's retired, you know.
the first time I saw Connie live was at the Sahara Hotel back in 19, I don't know, C61. She had a show, Jerry, and I mean, and excuse me, she sang her ass off. Sang her ass off, and she was great.
Do you remember
Really
when
great.
Connie's dad broke up the relationship with Darren with her?
Oh God, who don't remember that? Sure.
People,
I remember her father. I remember Connie's father saying,
George.
"I don't want you. I don't want. Yeah, I don't want you with that guy. You know, I don't. Yada yada yada. You know."
Yeah.
And Connie was totally in love with Darren.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to give you a name.
You know, I got. Oh, wait a minute. Let me tell you this. I got a charcoal caricature. I don't know who did it. I don't know if Bobby, speaking about Bobby Darren, did it or one of his fans did it. But I have it in my possession. And Jerry, it's great. It's a charcoal picture of Bobby and it's precious.
Wow.
And Bobby
Signed
signed it to me. And what he says is, "Dear Bobby, I wish for you what I wish for myself. Your friend always, Bobby Darren."
Yeah. So many great stories about Bobby Dan. Great stories about Bobby Dan. You know, I'm going to give you a great voice when you talk about singers. Shirley Bassey.
Yeah.
Shirley
Oh my
Bassey.
God. Oh, Shirley. Oh, God, she was Shirley Bassey.
I'm in love with Shirley Bassey's voice. I mean,
You know what? Shirley Bassey, when the first time I worked a nightclub in Sydney, Australia, it was called the Club Checkers. It was owned by a man by the name of Dennis Wong. And this was when nightclubs were still nightclubs.
yeah.
You know, when you could go in, smoke a cigarette, and have a cocktail. So again, star of the show would come on. I broke Shirley Bassey's record on a Saturday night.
Wow.
Going
You know,
back to 1960.
what? I first heard Shirley Bassey with an old friend of ours called Don Battles, the RDA Club.
Don Battles, the RDA Club.
Okay. He would drink a little bit of scotch, and because it was an after-hour joint, if you remember.
Oh yeah, the RDA.
And he would play this album called "This Is Shirley," and I heard that voice, and I said, "Wow."
Oh,
Phyllis Diller does my TV show. She was as you used to be my co-host, if you remember, 5 days a week.
yeah.
Phyllis Diller does it, and she says, "I'm working the Persian room at the Americana."
Whoa, the Persian room.
Okay? She says, "I want you to come for the closing show." So I go for the closing show, and you know how show business is. The closing act introduces the act that's going to be next week that's in the audience. And next week, ladies and gentlemen, on stage is the wonderful Shirley Bassey. Well, she stood up. You know, she's Welsh. And she stood up.
Right.
And I said, "Oh, my God." We had a party at Phyllis's suite and I met her. Lovely. This is 1963.
Yeah, I would say that would be right.
And
Yeah,
she had just
sure.
signed at that time with the United Artists. And I'll tell you a great story, that party. Shecky Green. Remember Shecky?
Oh, are you kidding?
Shecky Green. It's a private party in Phyllis's big double suite. The door's knocking. Phyllis with the little thing, you know, and fangs. She says, "Open up the door." It's Shecky Green, drunk. Drunk.
Oh, Shecky? No way.
Falls in. But these moments that we remember that were a part of our lives are things that only when you're in show business can you really cherish.
I'll tell you another great singer, Jerry. I don't know if she's still alive today, but I never saw her live, but I listened to a lot of her recordings. Caterina Valenti. Oh, you want to talk about chops?
Listen.
Chops, singing chops. Caterina Valenti was unreal.
Listen.
Please.
Amazing.
And not only that, but she could swing.
Yeah.
She could swing as well. It was like that was
Well, listen.
She could cook and swing.
You had to love Keely Smith. You
Love Keely. My first appearance in Las Vegas at the Sahara Hotel, I was in the main room with George Burns. In the main room.
Well, you did Burns' show.
I'm sorry?
You used to do George's Burns TV show, George Burns.
No, I did Jack Benny's. I did Jack Benny's TV show. But George Burns and myself, I was my first appearance in Vegas at the Sahara Hotel. In the lounge was Louis Prima and Keely Smith and Don Rickles. In the lounge.
Amazing.
I was in the main room with George Burns. And in the lounge was Louis Prima, Keely Smith, and Don Rickles.
Oh, wow. Who did Jimmy Darren open for? Buddy Hackett. Did Jimmy open up for Buddy Hackett?
I don't know. Jimmy Ercolani.
Yeah.
He lived right around the corner from me on 10th Street. I was on 11th Street, South Dakota. Yeah. He lived across the street from my first wife, Camille. Yeah. My God. Ercolani. I don't know if did he open for Buddy Hackett?
I believe, yeah. David,
Yes.
do you have time for one more question?
Yes. Any plans for the Golden Boys to do a show with James Darren?
Well, the question
was
is,
that?
any plans for the Golden Boys to do a show with Jimmy Darren? It's a different venue. Am I correct, Bobby?
You know what? There are times when I can't make a show. There are times when Fabian can't make a show. And, you know, Jimmy's got great chops, man.
Yeah.
He's a very, very fine singer. And he's a very, very dear friend. I call him every so once in a while. And I just say hello. How you doing, Kalani? Okay, Rittarelli, yada, yada, yada. Who knows? You know,
and also
I would love to have Jimmy on the show.
And
if
you know
one
what
of
also-
us can't make it.
You know what also a lot of people don't understand, you know, you have a certain set for a certain period of time. If it's a 90-minute show, you know, you can only do, 90 minutes, you know.
Right,
so,
right, exactly.
But that's a good point. In other words, if one of the guys doesn't show, Jimmy would be perfect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
for something like that.
I mean, and, you know, Jimmy's had, you know, quite a few hit records. Yeah. Goodbye, cruel world.
David, what do we got?
You know.
Time-wise, 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes. All right, we got 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left, okay.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
As you look to the future, what do you think with our business for younger people to pick it up? Will they enjoy it the way we've enjoyed it because of the exposure?
That's a good question. That's a great. You know what, Jerry? We've enjoyed it for the better part of 60 years. And our music has been the music of a lifetime. I mean, it's your music of a lifetime. It's the LP of a lifetime. I don't know if anything that's happening today can ever go on forever. like our music was from back then.
The
Because,
music speaks where we've lived, where we are.
it's the music of our lifetime.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it is.
Well,
The music of our lifetime.
That's well put. Bobby, I love you.
I
You
love
stay
you
well.
too, my man.
And next time we'll get Linda, so she'll say hello to Keely. But I gotta thank you.
They want you to say hello, honey. Wait a minute here. She's all flabloonging over here.
Working in the yard.
She's
Hi,
been working
Linda.
in the yard.
Look how pretty she looks.
Where's his picture?
There you go.
I don't.
there
I
it
can see you. I don't. He says they can see me,
That's
but
the
I
one
don't know if
that's
you can see me. But I can see you. Listen, love you guys. For you people out
Love
there,
you
we'll
guys,
do it
he
again next week, 6 to 7. I love you, Linda and Bobby Rydell. Keep on rocking, because you only rock once.
You got